Hello, there we go. We are live on YouTube. Hello, this is Charlie Live. Thank you for joining me today. I have some amazing guests. I have amazing guests here, and I have my amazing co-host here today. He's going to be sending some links out to all of our Discords. He's going to be sending links out to our Instagram chat. If you are not a part of our Discord or part of our Instagram chat, you're going to want to get onto that. Also, make sure when you jump in here that you hit that thumbs up and also follow if you haven't already. It's free. Come on, it's free to follow, you guys. It's free to hit the thumbs up also. Come on, help us out. We love you. We'll love you back. And we are here with JR Token. We're going to be token and smoking today with JR Token. We're going to be catching up on Emerald Cup. We're going to be going over the back end of the Dude Grow show. Maybe we'll hear some secrets. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell them. JR's going to let the cat out of the bag. No, I'm just joking. We're just going to be talking to see what JR actually does on the back end of that. I bet half of you don't even know what JR Token does or even who JR Token is. And you should know more about him. He used to be my other co-host before Drake joined me. He used to hang out with me, but he got too busy. He's too important to be with me now. He's back. He's doing all this backdoor stuff, and he's wild. He's a wild man. So we hang out at Emerald Cup and had all kinds of stuff going on. So hey, JR, welcome to the show.
Hey, Charlie, thanks for having me on. It's been a while. It's good to be back.
So should we say hello to Drake? Is Drake ready to say hello to Smoke yet? Or should we say, what are you puffing on today?
Ready to fire up
are you ready
to fire up a dab. But yeah, what are you puffing on, JR? What do you got lined up?
Yeah.
I'm puffing on, of course, some cherry paloma and some Georgia apple pie. Both of those are from Raw Genetics. Good stuff.
Wicked. I haven't had the chance to try either yet, but I'm sure I will in the future. I can't wait. Which profile do you prefer out of the two?
To be honest with you, the cherry paloma is the one that really hits, and I've had it around for over a year now, and it's got grapefruit and gas. So it's a trop cherry that got crossed with a Georgia apple pie. And so it's very, very grapefruit. I mean, a very strong, it's not like it's citrus, but it's not orange or lemon. It's definitely kind of a grapefruity thing. And the cherry part of it is not there at all. It's just mostly grapefruit and gas. And then the Georgia apple pie is really kind of earthy, funky, and gluey. Heavy on the kind of glue smell. And nice. It's kind of like a sleepy bedtime kind of thing where the cherry paloma is really euphoric and just gets you going.
I figured that one would be a little bit more sedative. And hey, there's the trusty phone call either way.
Right.
we knew it was coming. Hey, like you said, busy man, lots on the go. So we appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us for sure.
So just so you know, when it goes off, we're only just hearing the ding and then you silence it. We're not seeing anything come through. So just so you know on that end, on the camera end. So that's where all we're seeing. So just so you know. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate you for being here. We got the American one out there, and we got CBC voter in the house. We got Cosmic Ray in the house, and Bingo Lombardi, our awesome mob. Thanks for being here. He says bong rip and cheers everyone. Hey, so what am I going to dab on today? I'm going to dab on some stuff from Push Kirk. I really liked this. I'm almost out of it. I don't even know what it's. Let's see. C4OG. What is that? I don't even know what it stands for, but I'm going on that because I only have a little bit of that left, and it's amazing. And I have still been using this cute little dab rig, you guys. I am still using this. I was only going to do the 12 days of Christmas thing. I am still using this, and it's way after what I said. So I'm going to do another review, and we're going to have an interview with the gal that gifted this to me. We're going to be talking with her. I really want to tell you guys more about it. If you have questions, contact me. I'll let you know more information. But today, this show is about JR Token. We want to catch up with JR Token. We got to catch up a little bit at Emerald Cup. Of course, it's so busy at Emerald Cup. You get to sit for a little while, but then you're on to a whole bunch of other stuff. But we did get to Sesh for a while. That was really an awesome area to hang out in.
Yeah, you guys were super busy in that little section. I mean, that pavilion there was hopping all the time. And it was great. We got to sit down and do a little meditation, and it was great. I had a good time. That was kind of like one of the areas where I just kind of chilled. That and the Puffco Pavilion, I I had a bad leg experience at the time, so getting around was pretty tough for me. So I was pretty much going. I liked all the booths that had lounging areas built in.
Yeah, of course. Hanker down for a bit, set up
Hey,
shop, relax. You need that,
but
right?
you know
the
what?
levels of
But-
patience.
But see, the thing is these cannabis events, people want to sit and smoke together. They want to
Yeah.
hang out. So
Yeah.
any cannabis
Need
events
to.
out there, you need to have these anyways. So it not just for people that have bad legs or bad injuries, but actually a place to connect and communicate
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, I met some cool people just sitting on the couch. I actually watched a blind guy roll a joint, and I thought that was
Wow.
I thought that was
That's
outstanding.
awesome.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
Okay, wow. Yeah, okay. So if I was blind, to try and get this dab in here would be quite wow. Yeah, okay. Okay, now my phone is going off. No, really?
I know.
Really?
I
What
can't.
is this the Drake? This is the
I'm
the
gonna have
doom
to
of
phone
phones
myself here
today.
so I don't seem like the odd man out. I'm important too. I swear, people need me.
That's awesome.
All right, let's hit this.
Lots of things and stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Okay.
Heating up. Gonna go in on
I'm
a
finally gonna
little
hit it.
blend, GMO, and then double blend. So adding GMO to a blend of some of the official Kingsman Cruise product. There's like Flavor Mountain Flawless and Grand Prix or something along those lines. But yeah, we got a double blend of
Nice.
hashes and a blend of product that went in to make the hash.
Yeah, my bong is kind of in space, and then it's here, and then it's in space.
Ooh, trippy.
Well, happy Thursday, you all. Welcome in. If you just joining us, please hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It helps get the word out, helps get the cannabis community heard. We're going to be talking with JR Token about some of the things that he saw at Emerald, what he liked most at Emerald. Let's talk about some seeds maybe that you thought that maybe you should have bought or wanted to buy, who you thought. Let's talk about that first. Go for it.
Yeah, I had to make sure you're on live chat on top chat.
First of all, I want to talk about, just the event as a whole. I thought they did a really good job with it this year. I liked the way that they, took care of us guys that are, disabled. We didn't have to wait in any lines. We got to go through the VIP line, and they had special seating for us to watch all the performances. So first of all, I want to shout out them for doing that and taking us all into consideration. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the fact that a lot of the booths, or not a lot, but quite a few of the booths in the pavilions of the legacy farmers from there in the Humboldt area, some of those booths were gifted to those farmers so that they could come down and be able to present themselves and present their brand and what their farm is all about to the people without paying a whole bunch of money. So I thought, that giving back to the community part of it was really cool. It's a much smaller event than it was in years past, but it's really cool because it's an open smoking event. And there's a really good mix of crowd because you've got the kind of the street influence from like Cookies and Compound and Sea Junkie and that. And then you've got the people from the mountain coming down, representing their brands and Humboldt and all that stuff. So it was really good mix of crowds. And I thought everyone, seemed to be really having a good time. And I think that's kind of the goal. And the vibe this year was different. Before it was kind of like legalization, yeah. And this year it was kind of like legalization, no, it sucks for everyone. And so I kind of appreciated that vibe because on Cannabis Sessions, the podcast that we're doing right now on Cannabis on YouTube, is we're trying to push that message of home growing and micro licensing. We really want to try to get cannabis back to the people, because I feel like legalization has just created a barrier for a lot of people,
So,
and it doesn't serve our community and our industry at all.
okay, that micro, I want to hit on that point because I talk about this micro part of businesses. So when we're talking small businesses or we're talking small grows, they're not small grows like people think. They're like massive grows that these people are competing against. Just like small businesses, you're competing against massive businesses. Small businesses aren't what the mom and pop businesses anymore, nor the micro, these grows are not mom and pop. They're huge commercialized things that the mom and pop cannot even afford to do, just like the mom and pop can't even afford to get into most businesses these days. It's in every industry. So the micro part I want to talk about, because I believe, just like you just said, that's a great idea. Break the license down into micro, smaller people that can own these smaller things that would be a smaller investment. I've been saying there needs to be better tax breaks for micro businesses, and they need to actually take and have another separation between small businesses and define it into micro businesses so that they can have more tax breaks, so that the little mom and pops aren't getting hit with the same thing that the big LLC and the big corporations are getting hit with. This is just, I love the talk that we're talking micro, so that I had to hit on that point. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
Yeah, no, I totally do. And the analogy that we like to bring to the table is how the people of the beer community were able to take their beer back from corporate America. And the way they were able to do that was to start encouraging people to brew at home and set up microbrews. And microbrews in our area here in Portland, Oregon, brought a lot of business to communities. We have one here called Windmere Beer. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but anyways, they started as a microbrew here in Portland, and they set up a little brewery with like a little restaurant and a little entertainment area. And pretty soon that became this giant hub for that whole entire neighborhood. And all of a sudden, all these businesses and little restaurants and stuff opened up around it. And so I think that micro licensing and setting up these smaller barriers to entry are going to bring more money back to your community. When you support these huge companies where a huge part of their money is going back to somebody else who doesn't live in your town, who doesn't support your community. And so it's just, to me, it's like, kind of bring it back home to the people. And, in Oregon, we had a medical program that worked in that very way. If we were a producer, we were allowed to bring our product to the dispensary. And as long as it tested clean and met the requirements, we were able to be compensated for that. And there's no reason why that system can't exist today. Now, here in Oregon, we paid for a lobbyist and a couple lawyers to transition into rec. And at the last minute, they flipped on us and they handed our industry over to big business and made it to where if you're a medical provider, you're no longer allowed to bring your medicine to the dispensary. So it killed that model entirely. Our growth stores started shutting down. Growers in our communities couldn't compete or couldn't, handle it. And they ended up shutting down. And so it really decimated our community and our industry here in the state of Oregon. And so we're really kind of trying to push that message to help other states that are coming online realize that this is the scenario that's going to happen to you if you allow it.
Yes, every state that it's gone legal in, the medical patient has gotten screwed, and it's only been big, huge corporations that have come in and taken over theirs. And the reason is because, first of all, if a farmer was going to go out into a field and plant some trees or plant anything, he would just plant wherever he wanted to plant. Well, this, you have to get a license to even agree where you can even go to where you want to plant. So good luck if you want to do it where you live or buy your house, or if you already have land, because you can't even get a license for those places anymore, or you can't even get a license anymore. But just first of all, to even do that, you have to put in like, what was it, an 8-foot fence all the way around it. Think how much just the investment of an 8-foot fence is. Never alone anything, just an 8-foot fence. But what does that cost? They're just making it ridiculous. And what, for a plant that we should all be able to grow freely. Drake, go ahead.
There's usually specifications for the fence too, where it's not just your average fence, it's thicker and stronger and, you know, somewhat resistant to people breaking in, even though they're still going to be able to if they really wanted to. It just costs you a bunch of money. We've seen very similar things here in Canada as well. And, you know, there's a time where it was real good for the medical providers that were on the free market that have been helping people for years. And, you know, the kind of the leaders that have formed this industry, and they were going in and being able to do the same thing, provide their product to the shops and have that compensation be there. But then some things changed and that's no longer happening. You see the same thing. The stores shut down. The competition is crazy. The quality overall does go down because just the people that were in it with the right intentions get forced out because they don't have this crazy monetary backing, which usually lights up a bunch of mids, unfortunately, and then that gets passed out. And here in Canada, we got all this irradiation and next level stuff that kind of devalues the nutritional value and potentially some of the medicinal benefits. Not saying it's no good, but you know, there's just lots of room for improvement for sure. And if we can help any other area to, you know, amend those before they go down that path, it's a huge help. And honestly, it's going to make them more money too, for the most part, right? Like if they do this properly and lay it out properly, you're going to make more money overall. And that's all they care about.
And, you know, I think a point that you brought up is that, like, I think Canada's legal system is starting to kind of deal with the same problems that the legal systems are here in the States, and that the legal product can't really compare quality wise to what you can get on the open market or from a homie that you know who grows, or if you grow yourself. And so people are starting to get hip to that, and it's starting to impact the legal market. And so they're starting to clamp down on medical grows. They're starting to, you know what I mean, start changing the rules to where it favors less of that and more of the, you know, legal side of things. And another point I wanted to bring up also, like Tara was talking about, the medical patients getting screwed. So like in our scenario in Oregon, we were allowed to grow for patients. And then what we as a group did, we would give our patients 2 ounces a month, edible bakery items, cookies, whatever. And then we would also give them RSO if they needed it. And that was free. They didn't have to pay for anything. And so we were able to take whatever was left over and be compensated for it to pay to keep us growing. And so what that did is it allowed medical patients who really needed it to get free medicine. Well, as soon as they flipped a rec, that happened no more. And so now these people had to go to the rec market and buy their medicine that quite often is super expensive at a high quality level, or it's not at a high quality level at all, and they're getting an inferior product that they're paying for a lot.
Inferior product that they're paying way too much for.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah, and I went to a dispensary not that long ago, and I saw what they charge for 1 gram of rosin. And I'm just like, how is that sustainable for any kind of medical patient? And rosin is something you can make at home, you know. It may not be 5-star doodah day that you get for $60 to $100 a gram, but it's definitely going to give you full spectrum good medicine.
Okay, so this is a good conversation because I'm going to be headed down to go to a master cho class for Jadam, and Drake grows Jadam. So this is a good talk about pricing. So the reason that we're so big on the regenerative, not just because it'll save the freaking planet, okay? Not because it's just that freaking amazing. All this natural farming, organically, all this, we need to change our ways. Not just because of all that, but financially, it makes sense because it is the most cheap, most economical and affordable way to grow. So the only way you can get costs down, make them cheaper for the patient, for us to be able to buy, to be able to afford it, you have to get your overhead down. These businesses have to cut their costs. So the way to cut their costs is they have to quit buying all these fertilizers. So they have to make their own fertilizers. And this is what the whole Jadam system's about. I see you just put a video the other day on your channel about going organic and versus synthetic. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? What's going on? Or do you still want to talk about Emerald Cup?
No.
We need some things to figure up on Emerald Cup.
No, I mean, you know, as far as Emerald Cup goes, I thought it was wonderful. I can't wait to go back next year, and I hope to see you, Kelly, and everyone there. I will say I did miss the teepee. The teepee was the most epic thing ever. That was such a great community hangout.
Yeah, that teepee was amazing. I did miss the teepee. That whole section, talk about it being smaller real quick for a second. That whole section was literally not there. But you know what? It really made it nice and quaint. And like you got to see everybody. And it wasn't like I had to run a mile to go see someone.
No.
It was a lot easier to get around. So I think in the future, you're going to see a lot more of these smaller events. And they're going to be
agree.
They're going to be really more exclusive, but inclusive at the same time. Because you get to, like Swami was there the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Who gets to hang out with Swami on a normal basis? You know, some people don't ever even get to meet him. You know, he's a really amazing guy. And Josh and Kelly, you know, I take for granted I get to hang out with Josh and Kelly all the time. But you know, they're traveling around. They're in Spain right now, and they went to Barcelona. They're just going all. They're going to be in New York. They're traveling all over right now, so people can get to see them. That's amazing too. So I think you're going to see a lot more of these smaller, more quaint events, though, in the future.
I thought it was really cool how accessible a lot of the breeders were there. I ran into Oni. I ran into Chris Compound. I ran into Swami. I ran into Mean Gene Green. I mean, I met a lot of people, and it was really cool. It was really cool. I thought it was a good event. And Mindo Dope was hanging out. I mean, you could walk up and hang out and talk to him and chill. It was really cool. It was a good event. But what was the other thing we were going to talk about?
We were going to talk about your video you just put out on YouTube. Organic versus synthetic, because we were just talking about how they're going to have to have cheaper. They're going to have a cheaper way in the future to grow. So organically is kind of cheaper. So we're kind of going that way. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to pretty much speak from my experience as a suburban dude.
Love it. I mean, let's do it. Because we have everybody. I'm not telling people that that I don't like you because you're growing synthetically. I'm just saying that it's better for the planet in the long run. It is more sustainably. But if you're growing, hell yeah, I just want you to be growing. There you go. Yeah. That's the lead into that. Go ahead.
Okay, so first I'm going to start off with the organic side of what I'm doing. And it's from fermented plant extract, which you can get on Build-A-Soil. And I'm using a 2-part ferment. I'm using nettle fermentation for veg, and I'm using a peach fermentation for flour. And I've been doing this now for, I think, over a month. And after about a month, I noticed that the fermented plant juice on its own was struggling a bit. And so I talked to Miles about it, and he told me that the fermented fermentations are really more successful in a living soil. So like for me, I'm in a compost cocoa blend, And so it's not really a full living ecosystem type soil. So I was having issues. And so what he told me to do was just kind of add a little bit of my base nutrient to it and see if it kind of brought it back around. And of course it did. Within a couple waterings, I noticed that it's bounced back and it's looking good. And then the other grow that I did is my Synganic method, which is a mix of organics and synthetics. And what I do is when I run synthetics on that side, I run a very low NPK, nothing above a 10. And I'm only giving about 70% of what it calls for. So really low on the synthetics. And then on the organic side of it, I'm putting the organic biostimulants in the way of guano, worm castings, and kelp, and other sugars and stuff like that that feed the microbes. And so the thing I'm doing is when you come out, like I come out of a cloner into the soil. For the first few waterings, it's just microbes and water only to start establishing that biology in my medium. And then after that, I slowly start feeding in the synthetics as well. So that way, I'm hoping that the root exudate exchange is happening and that the microbes are delivering nutrients and storing nutrients. But at the same time, if there's any deficiencies at all and it needs something chelated, it has a little bit of chelated nutrients in there for the roots to uptake by themselves. Now, this is just something I've kind of been working on over time. I don't have any white papers or anything to back it up. All I can do is show people how I grow and show the results that I get. So that's
yeah, that's awesome. And it's no right or wrong. When we talk about things and systems, we talk about a Jadam system because it's like following a recipe, right? So when you follow a recipe and you're going to claim that you're going to do a system, you probably should stick with that system if you're claiming that you're doing that. Now, if you're going to add other things in there, just don't call it that system and do your own system, which is what you're doing. A lot of people do that, and it's okay. You've got your system.
Yeah. And so I've been doing that since about 2010-ish. And so then Scotty at realgrowers.com, came out with a product called Grow Dots. And Grow Dots are little pellets or little micro balls of nutrition, and they're formulated to release to the nutritional needs of a cannabis plant rather than
slow release.
Well, and it also releases a certain amount of nitrogen and then drops off and releases phosphorus and sulfur and all the other good stuff. So it's calculated for a cannabis plant, not a rose bush, a tomato, or anything else. So I'm using that as a synthetic. And what you do with that is you mix it into your medium and then it's water only. And I give it recharge once a week. So water and recharge, that's it. And so far, veg wise, they all look really pretty good. I would say the Synganic and the Grow Dots look probably the best. But that's because I wasn't in a living soil to do the fermented stuff. So
as a person that has went to fermentation classes on KNF, which they do kind of fermentation, a different type, and on Jadam, it's a system. Like I was trying to say, it's a system. When you go in to bake a cake, or no, let's talk about when you're going to bake a piece of bread. When you go to bake bread, right? There's systems that you go through. You have to have the right yeast, right? And the right flour and the right this and the right that, the salt, And then you make this loaf over here. And then while you make it up, it has to sit in the right temperature. And it has to sit in the right temperature and it has to rise. And then you have to smash it back down. And then you have to put it in the right temperature again. And then it has to rise, right? So if in this Jadam thing, in fermentation, it kind of works that way. It has to be the right temperature. It has to have the right ingredients. It has to have all the right things for it to be this recipe, for it to be that loaf of bread, that sourdough loaf at the end. It has to have all those things. And like you're saying in your soil, why you can't have it a living soil. Well, living soil takes clay and it takes like rock and it takes silt and it's made up of all these things because these organisms that we have that are living in our soil need these places to have homes. These are their homes. This is what they eat. This is where they live. This is their culture. This is like us having a home over our head. This is what they need. And if we're not supplying them with what they need, they're going to die in that soil. And Drake is doing such an amazing job on all this fermentation stuff. Like he is spot on this. Like if you want to know something about how to mix a soil and what to mix in, like he's got you covered. Dude.
Just learning.
Well, my question is if I am in just a lot of guys use straight cocoa, what kind of fermentations can I use to feed my plant to keep it in a constant, healthy state if I'm not in a living soil?
Yeah, and that's a great question, and I would just instantly defer to someone in the industry, because there's many out there that have been kind of tweaking their own systems and playing with things and figuring out what works and incorporating kind of one thing at a time and seeing how it goes. And I don't even have a name off the top of my head, but I would definitely defer to someone that's been doing that successfully, because I didn't necessarily transition like that. I went from more doing your standard living soil inside, and then outdoor gardening, of course, in the way that we all love. And then once I was able to get a good comprehension outdoors, started transitioning indoors, but with that understanding and with like a living soil already. So I've never had the experience of working with like a hydro medium and then incorporating specific ferments to be able to get you kind of that utmost level of performance and quality, which is what you're going for. But I've seen some really nice stuff, as I'm sure we all have. So there's individuals out there that are making it work, but it's just that, right? Like what your environment is, the temperatures, how your room is, how dialed in it is, and then what specific things you have access to with the organic, farming in mind for different ferments and so on and so forth. Because each different ferment, if you don't have access, like you made a reference to, I believe, purchasing from Build a Soil. So then there's like at least a reference point. Each batch that's made may be similar enough that there would be, my goodness, at a loss for a word there, but it would be kind of repeatable, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of variance with making all of your own compounds. So then there's a lot of kind of R&D that needs to go into it. But everything's possible, and it just takes tweaking your own system and, doing things slowly, one at a time, and trying to have your standards so you can kind of know what's going on. If you throw 17 things at it, it's really hard to know what's doing great and what's not. But, whatever works for you, not persecuting anyone here, but yeah, that's just my suggestion.
Well, no, and I agree. I mean, like Tara said, we just want people to grow. If you're in a condominium in downtown New York, we still want you to grow. You can have a 2x4 tent. You can run, whatever simple system. You can run a simple bucket, sip bucket, those earth boxes. I mean, they make it pretty easy now for you to be successful. So we're encouraging people, obviously at the Duke Grow Show to, get out there and grow your own, you're going to find you're going to get a better quality. You're going to have an enjoyment of a hobby, and you're going to save yourself some money. Actually, you might end up saving yourself a lot of money.
Hell yeah, I support that 100%. You guys, we literally just want you to grow. Even having a house plant in your house, I mean, just having something greenery around. Good God, Drake's plants, they used to be so small up there in that corner, and they're just taking over his house. And I finally, put some plants in here. It just helps having some plants around. I think also kind of helps brighten your, taking care of something, a living, kind of helps brighten your day. Kind of teaches you about yourself. Like, hey, maybe I need to drink more water, and maybe I need to take more, vitamins and nutrients, and, maybe I need to get some sunlight, it's maybe good for me.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear you.
So, what about, do you want to talk about maybe some cultivars you're growing, or what's your favorite things you've been liking? Or do you want to go into talking about what you've been doing behind the scenes for the Dude Grows? Where are we at? What do you want to talk about?
First of all, I would like to mention about the Dude Grows.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't know if you follow the show or not, but we've been through a big, big transition. YouTube canceled our account and they totally deleted our channel. We were just approaching 90,000 users. And so now I think we're at about 5,000. A lot of people don't know that we're back. So we're trying to get the word out to let people know, hey, the Dude Grow show is still out there on YouTube. You can find us. We're also on Spotify and soon to be on Cannabis. They set up an account on Cannabis. And so I'm going to hopefully be uploading episodes of the Dude Grow show up onto the Cannabis platform. And Cannabis has kind of gone through a transition as well. We at the end of the year, we were looking at losing the app entirely. We actually made announcements that the company that carried our contract for all of our back end tech stuff and software, they were losing their company because their main investor pulled out because the tech market is getting a hit as well, and a lot of people are pulling out. And so the owners of the company are scrambling, the co-owners of the company are scrambling to get, the funds so that they can keep the company and to keep everything going. And so apparently it seems like that seems to be the direction things are going. So we are still alive, but we did have to change to a paid service. It's not a free app anymore, but you can enter support at $4.20, gets you access to the app. And then, of course, you're also supporting Cannabis Sessions, the podcast. So it's kind of like a Patreon thing, but instead of paying for Patreon, you pay to support, and you get a social media app with a bunch of like-minded people there who grow and smoke and have a good time. And so with it being a paid app, we don't have scammers coming in as much and inundating your direct messages with trying to hustle you out of this, that, or get you to go to their fans only site. And so that's discouraged almost all of that. And the other thing we set up is if you're friends with, you have to be friends with someone and they have to be friends with you before you can direct message them. So that way you're not getting hit up by, just randos on the site hitting you up. You actually have to comment on each other's posts and be friends with each other. And so we've kind of set up these safeguards to help kind of protect our community. And we've provided a place for what I feel like could be a good spot for the cannabis community, because if you have a recorded podcast, you can go on our website and upload your podcast. If you are part of a particular community and you want to join up and have a safe space to talk and to meet people, you can do that without fearing that they're going to delete your content or shadow ban your account or all that other stuff. So we've really kind of designed Cannabis, and we've gotten it tweaked to a place where we really feel like we have a good product that we can offer people, and we can offer them a safe space to engage in the cannabis community.
Awesome. That's great. Because last we talked, I didn't know, we were talking like we didn't know if it was going to be around. And I know you guys were struggling. So that's good. You guys were able to transfer into that and doing that. That's good. That's awesome. And that will be nice not to have scammers, and you have people that actually care about the cannabis community taking care of the back end. That's also really important.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the most discouraging things for people. And I think that's something that other social media networks or social media outlets deal with as well. There's a lot of people who try to take advantage of people, and they've figured out that this is the way to do it. So we have to put up safeguards and try to, make it to where people do not do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you get the good with the bad, which we all know, the good with the bad.
Yeah, yeah. So
I think it's time for a smoke.
I do too. I'm ready.
Let's let you have a smoke break. We getting keeping you talking. I think Drake jumped off for a little bit, but what's everybody puffing out there? Let me say hello to chat. How are you doing out there, chat? I'm gonna let JR talk for a minute. 10, you are amazing out there doing your grow. That's awesome in your area. That I appreciate you guys all doing what you can do in your area. Do your grow, do your part. I can tell you, John Maddox out there, he overgrows, overshares, and he appreciates you all doing that. T, thanks for being here. How are you doing? Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. I said hi to I Grissom, I think. Who else did I not say hi to? Did I say hi to? Love for the plant. Yes, love that name. Love for the plant. I love it. 100%. If you are here hanging out with us, make sure you have it on live chat and not top chat, because it will take care. It'll basically just not show some of your messages. YouTube apparently gets to pick what they want you to see and not. So make sure you have it on live chat. But we do appreciate YouTube. They haven't taken my chat down. They don't take my channel down. And the reason, this is the secret. I'm not selling anything. I have nothing for sale, and I never have on here. So they can't, that's one of the rules. You can't have things for sale. Monetization. If you monetize, you definitely can't sell things on here, because they only want to get commercials on there, and you can't commercial or have your own commercials, make these back end contracts to make any money. And then they give you strikes, and you can only get 3 of those. When they find out, you get them. And music. If you play music, you get strikes. And if you get 3 of them, they will take your channel away. I am not monetized. I'm not interested in monetizing. It's okay if other people, that's their thing. The reason I don't have to worry about what I say, I can bring on whatever I want. I can talk about whatever products I want and do whatever I want, as long as I keep it in the guidelines and the rules, and not be vulgar, not do things against their standards. But it's when you monetize, when you sell something, or you promote selling something, or when you promote selling something illegal, they call it illegal somewhere else. That's when they have to take down your video. They can't show it in other areas, blah, 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 because they have all these guidelines that they have to go by. So I appreciate YouTube is free for me. It has been good for me. It's been good for Drake and I to be able to get our information out, and we're able to promote you guys. We're able to promote these other platforms and tell everybody else about these other places to go, because everybody can go everywhere. I mean, we need all of these places to get the word out. We do. We need everywhere. I'm not going to just focus on Instagram. I'm not going to just focus on YouTube. I am here on YouTube because I'm getting the word out on YouTube. But there's Twitch. People are on Twitch getting the cannabis word out. People are, on cannabis getting the cannabis word out. So it's just important. And I'm not going to exclude or say that any of these things are important over the other. I just can't.
Yeah, I agree. And it's all the things that you just talked about are the core reason why we started cannabis, because you don't have to deal with that kind of persecution. And like you said, if they shut your channel down, start another one. If they delete your account on Instagram, start another one. We are being suppressed in our ability to get information and to share our community. And so if that's the game they want to play, then we have to play, like you said, by their rules, but yet still push our message. And if they delete us, tell someone. Make sure you tell everybody hey, Tara Lee's channel's got a strike. It might get deleted. Look for another one. I mean, you got to. And so what that kind of forces us to do really is participate in multiple media platforms.
Yeah.
Because if you're just putting yourself out there on one platform, you can be decimated in a day. Yep. So to get out there, let your people know, hey, if I disappear, look for me. I'm coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's super important. I agree. It's so important. And the sad thing is some of these things are people's livelihoods. some of these accounts are these growers and these breeders that have been building these libraries of their dialogue, of their plants, of, you know, this is their catalog. Basically, if you're going to go to someone, this is their catalog. And like, you're going to take that away from people, the opportunity to show people their catalog and say, hey, this is my work that I've done through the years. You know, why would you take that away from somebody? It's sad that they do. And it's because of regulations. It really is. It's not hate against us. It's stupid regulations. It's our stupid back agenda, our politicians back in the day that were pushing the wrong thing. And now we're here for the right thing. And we just need to keep pushing it.
Yeah. And you could see that when YouTube started making its changes, because there was kind of that first wave of people who got deleted. And then after that, they started pushing the community guidelines. And then now that's kind of like the buzzword of all these platforms is community guidelines. And I know there has to be that. Like for us at Cannabis, we have community guidelines. You're not allowed to show nips, muff, or wang. Those things are not allowed. We don't allow political posts. We don't allow religious posts. Other than that, you're pretty much free to go. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I have one question. What if I want to start a cannabis religion?
That you can. And as a matter of fact, there's the first cannabis church in Denver, and I'm actually trying to start working on that. I'd like to get them on and talk about that, because I think that would be a very cool thing.
Actually, there was a cannabis church started. It was by what's his name, Steve
D'Angelo.
Yes, he actually started one. Drake's like looking like he's locked up there. Drake knows knows about it, I think. But I think he actually started the first one. Oh, look at Drake just died. His internet just gave out. I think his computer just died. Oh,
sorry,
Drake's
buddy,
back.
we're missing you.
Here he comes.
I see in my screen he's like frozen.
There he is. The Wi-Fi. So Drake, wasn't there? Didn't Steve D'Angelo start a church already, like somewhere? What was that? Cannabis church?
He's gone.
Oh, is he gone again? Oh, his
I
whiffy.
think so.
His whiffy. We'll give him a minute. Well, anyways, I was kind of wondering about that though. Maybe, yeah, just mute your video and maybe you'll come in, Drake. I was kind of wondering about, the legalities. If we had a lawyer in the house, I'd love to talk to a lawyer about that, about starting a cannabis church, because my reason for starting a cannabis church isn't like, oh, let's be really like throw it in everybody's face. It's literally about my plant count. It's about taking care of the history of the clones that I want to keep. And maybe I don't know that I want to smoke that one yet, but I like it. And maybe in the future I want to smoke it. And if I'm only allowed 15 plants, I've got to somehow keep that in stock. And, there's just limitations on these things for medical patients. And so as maybe a cannabis as a religion, like everybody else has got religion, like maybe we need to start something like that. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, the one in Denver is called the International Church of Cannabis, and they are recognized by the federal government.
Oh, no shit. Okay, there you go.
By the state government as an official church.
Well, there you go.
And if you're ever on 400 South Logan Street in Denver, Colorado, go check it out. It's really trippy. They've really done all the paintings inside so it's really cool. Look it up, International Church of Cannabis. One of the guys works on Duke Grow Show, our producer, Grambo Edits. Grambo, he is the one who turned me on to, I guess one of his roommates or former roommates actually is one of the people who set that church up.
Cool. Hey, Bingo, if you want to put some of those links in for me, that'd be great. Or if someone else wants to be a mod and put links in there for me, let me know. I'll mod you up if you want to put links in. I'd appreciate that. It's kind of hard to carry on a conversation and put links out there. And
I know. I'm trying to get technical here. I actually was able to look that up on the internet while I was talking to you. So
I saw that. I saw you doing that, JR. That's awesome. You can also copy and paste that and put it in chat if you want to. I did add you.
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Okay, you should be modded up. You should be able to do that if you want. So,
All right, here we go.
also, if they have Instagram, we'll get that showed out there too. That would be good. Oh, I was going to show your Instagram. Let's get your Instagram shared out here. Let's share your Instagram and get that showed out here. We'll make sure you get some followers on that. Whoops, wrong screen. I got to get the other screen up.
There, I think I did it.
Good job. You did. Good job. Okay, here we go. Share. We're going to share JR's. Here is JR's following. Look at how many followers you got. That's awesome, dude. You're almost 10,000.
Yeah, that's when I'll get deleted.
Oh, no, don't say that. No.
Hey, there I am. I have some raw gear, sporting some raw genetics.
Look at this. This garden looks amazing over here, dude. Look at that.
That's at Uncle Jim's garden.
Look at that. All the netting has like screws all along that PVC pipe. What a grow, dude.
Yeah, we do double scrogs. So we have those on PVC pipes that go up and down the poles. And that way we can set our scrogs at any level we want.
That is so cool. Look, there's another side view of that. That is so cool. Look at that. Wow. 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 Let's see. There's JR's new leg. Look at that.
Yeah, I just got that a couple weeks ago.
Woo-hoo!
I got that Pheno Hunter sticker from the plant stable, AJ, and my prosthetic guy clear coated it onto my prosthetic. So it's
clear coated. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's on there forever. Well,
oh wow,
a long time probably.
Very cool. Look at all these little ones you got going over here. What is your favorite thing you got growing on right now?
Well, I'm still kind of hunting out those Georgia apple pies. I've got 2 of them that I picked out of 4, and I'm running them one more time to see. One's kind of sweet with a little bit of apple finish, and one is really kind of gassy and earthy and funky. So I'm trying to see which one will perform best with the rest of the group. And yeah, we'll see. So I'm also going to be testing the Jokers by Compound Genetics. I think it's Jokers 31, I believe, Pheno 31. And I'm excited to see how it turns out. My son, I got it from my son because that he said he's down in the LA area, and he said that was like probably his favorite smoke of the year last year. And I had an opportunity to grab it, so I did.
So when you say it's your favorite smoke, why? Like what terpene complex, what smells you get off of it? And then what does it do to you? Does it hit you in the head? Does it hit your body? Like what type of high do you get?
For me, because I am a chronic pain patient, I really like heavy hitters. I like something that's gonna, help me sleep at night. So, but I also like euphoric highs. I don't like heart racing, super intense highs like, some associate with narrow leaf varieties. But I really do enjoy that euphoric kind of feeling in your head, but I need the body stone of the kind of the heavier stuff. So I usually grow hybrids. I'm really into a lot of hybrids. Most of the stuff I get from Brad is pretty heavy. I mean, he breeds with some really amazing genetics. Some people call it hype stuff, but I mean, if a breeder pheno hunts out of 100 plants and he finds one that's super special, there's probably a reason why that's a hype cut, So I think sometimes that, that language gets thrown around in kind of a negative way, hype cut or hype this or whatever. But a lot of times those cultivars are hyped because they're really good. Other times they're not. So, I mean, it's always buyer beware, but I just think that a lot of times people kind of add a negative connotation to that. And, whatever, teach their own. But I think a lot of the stuff that he breeds, he gets access to some of the most amazing genetics because he is in a friendship with a lot of breeders. And breeders that are cool with each other do projects with each other, and they share genetics with each other. And so a lot of the times the stuff he gets really pretty good. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Yes, definitely. No, I appreciate that because I think it's important when people are talking about, like, sometimes not always like, hey, I like this cultivar and I like this cultivar and I like this hybrid and I like this narrow leaf. Like, why do you like it? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, tell me why you like it. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Why? Like, what type of things does it help you with? Like, these are all things that are going to help us to be able to go, hey, I want to try that cultivar versus, oh, it smells like baby poop. Sorry, guys. If it smells like baby poop, I'm not having it.
Right. I know there's that. What was that? Oh, garlic breath. I'm telling you what, that was some of the most foulest smelling cannabis I've ever smelled. It was like rotten something with a little bit of, oh God, it's just terrible. I couldn't even be in the same room with it. I like totally gifted it away because I couldn't. It was awful to me, anyways. Some people like that stanky, funky. I mean, it wasn't even funky. It was like rotten something, man. It was intense.
I think there's going to be something for everyone out there, but like, I am like, in most things, people want to like, okay, so serotonin receptors. There's a lot of serotonin. So serotonin is really responsible for in our norepinephrine. I can't say that one right now, but definitely our serotonin. So serotonins are known for like being happy and excitable and all those good things. It makes you feel good. Serotonin levels, right? So when we eat things, it soothes us. You know why they have these foods that, they call us, those are the satisfying foods that you always go back to, our comfort foods, right?
Yeah.
And it's because there's serotonin things that we're feeding our receptors in our body. So along with these serotonin receptors, I believe that if you can also hit the cannabinoid receptors that we also have in our body for all the cannabinoids out there, and you can also make them eat like a yummy serotonin thing, like I would want to eat it, it's also hitting my yummy receptors too, right? So it helps people that maybe have digestive issues.
Yeah, no, that's true. My son's that way.
Yeah.
When he gets up in the morning, he usually wakes up with a pretty foul stomach. And he'll take a couple bong rips, and then he'll kind of eat, and it'll soothe his stomach. And it happens almost all the time.
Okay, so that's your nerves. That's your nerves, man.
He uses cannabis for exactly that reason.
Yeah, that's nerves, man. Get that. Yeah, that's just that. And you might not have got a good sleep the night before. Maybe it was a rough sleep. Maybe you had a bad dream that you didn't even know. Maybe you didn't even know. You're not even aware of this shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Big, nice to see you made it for the live show. Big's always coming by after we go off the air, and he's like, hey, I missed your show, but I'm here. I see you're here, Biggs. Thanks. Welcome to chat. Hello, Chart. How are you? Welcome. How are you? We have lots of questions by Perpetual. Perpetual, we're gonna have to go over we're gonna have to get you and Drake in on some I think a Zoom or on Discord and let you guys kind of talk things out, because you've got a lot of questions, and I think it's gonna be easier to have that conversation in chat than try and answer things over the air right now on some of those questions. So why don't you reach out to Drake off air, and maybe we can do that. Drake, are you still there? You kind of unmuted for a minute.
I don't think he's there. Oh, he's here.
Is your internet just messing up?
Yeah, something's up. I'm gonna have to go restart.
Okay, dude. Well, why don't you go ahead and do you have any final words, Drake, or do you want me to just go ahead and take it over and you don't have to worry about it?
Mulch Love, you're both amazing. Everyone out there is awesome.
Growers
like,
love,
share,
brother.
subscribe.
Growers
love,
brother.
All right. Well, if we don't see Drake back, he's gone. Thanks, Drake, for being here. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Mulch love. That's an awesome love. Mulch love. Hashtag mulch love. JR, what did we not touch on? Did we touch on everything?
We did pretty good. I mean, I did just have an amazing 35th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a lot of years. That's worked.
I'll try to get you.
Right. Yeah. Do it right in front of you. There. Perfect. Let me highlight you just a minute. I'm going to pin you just a minute. Spotlight for everybody. Look at that. There you go. Isn't that
That's us in 1988.
1988, dude.
Out in front
That's
of
a year before I graduated.
I was in high school, and it was taken in front of the library at the.
What grade were you in?
In Seaside, Oregon. I was a senior in high school.
Oh, you're a year older than I am.
Yeah, I just graduated. I graduated in 88.
You're a year older than I am. I didn't realize that. I thought you were younger, dude. You held your fucking age well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I totally thought you were younger than me. I did. I literally thought you were younger than me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow, that's awesome.
I feel old. I feel pretty damn old.
No, dude, for the health
Look at all
things,
this.
the health issues that you have been through and the struggles that you go through, and you were such a positive guy. Like, I never hear you complain about shit. Like, we hung around for days on this thing, and like, you just are such an awesome, happy-go-lucky guy. Like, I think it's amazing you're married as long as you have, and you help out this community so much. I really, really appreciate you. It's really just awesome to have you here. Just love you. It's awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Tara. I feel the same way. I mean, we've come a long ways. I mean, when we met at that Indo Expo in Portland, we all sat in the car. I think Dude was with us, right?
Yeah.
We all just like started toking out.
I dabbed him out on the back patio. Remember, on the porch?
Yes, and we just started like introducing ourselves and getting to know each other, and then now it's been like 5 years, 6 years later.
Yeah, something like that.
And look what directions we went. I mean, you found your community, and you found the people that you vibe with.
Yeah.
And then I think that's important for all of us, in this cannabis journey, is that we find our community and the people we vibe with. And to kind of tie it back into cannabis, that's a home for everybody. We want to support all those communities. We want to give our people a place to be our people.
That's beautiful. I love it. Let's end on that note. I love it. Let's give everybody a place. And that is a beautiful place. And I appreciate you guys putting the time in there. I do. You've put in a lot. Quinn, or not Quinn, Q. I say Quinn. Q puts a lot of work in there. He's the man that does the kind of back end of that stuff.
He does all of it. He does the community management. He handles he does all that stuff. All I do is show up and have a good time.
The best part.
Right?
I love it. Well, thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate you being here. This is really a special interview for me today. I really enjoyed JR. It's just awesome to always hang out with him. I always feel awesome afterwards. And thanks, Drake, for being here with that darn internet, and all you out there and everybody that comes by after we're off air. I appreciate you too. Even the lurkers out there that don't have accounts, that don't want to say or comment, because that's the other thing. If you don't have an account with YouTube, you can't comment. If you're not age certain restricted, you can't comment. So even those people that come by and watch this stuff afterwards that don't comment, I appreciate you too, because it's still helping us get our word out. It's still a number. It still helps us count. And we got to just keep being a number out there. Keep puttering away one at a time. Light one joint at a time.
Yep.
One dab at a time. All right,
and
y'all.
Stay connected, stay connected with your people so you know what's going on. And shout out to the chat, Ned Denver, Big Mole in Arizona. We've got all kinds, John Maddox. I mean, it's been a great Bingo Lombardi, Rim Purple, love for the plant, love. And so it's good to see some DGC show up in the chat.
Woohoo! Awesome. Go Canna fam. Love y'all. Thanks. Have